Alright, imagine falling for someone so hard, but instead of a fairy tale romance, you end up in the most toxic, messy situationship of all time. That's right, this isn't your average love story. This is emotional damage on steroids. And trust me, once you start, you won't be able to look away. Buckle up, because this one's a roller coaster of love, obsession, and absolute heartbreak. Meet our two main characters, a seemingly perfect high school girl and a calm, collected dude. On the outside, they look like your typical honor student duo, smart, attractive, and admired by everyone. But here's the catch. Both of them are hopelessly in love with someone else. Yep, our girl is head over heels for her teacher, a soft-spoken, gentle guy who's been in her life since she was a kid. And our guy? He's got it just as bad for his music teacher, a beautiful woman who radiates charm. But fate said, nah, y'all can't have what you want. So what do? Instead of sulking, they come up with the most unhinged plan. They start fake dating each other as a substitute for the people they actually want. Wild, right? At first, it seems like a win-win. They can hold hands, kiss, and pretend to be in love while secretly imagining their actual crushes. But here's the thing. Feelings don't work like that. The more they fake it, the more they start slipping into this dangerous emotional mess where lines between real and pretend get blurry. Meanwhile, the two teachers they're in love with? Yeah, they're living their best lives, completely unaware of this disaster unfolding. That is, until the music teacher reveals she's actually dating the guy our male lead is obsessed with. Oof, instant heartbreak. Now, you'd think our guy would be devastated, right? And he is. But instead of moving on, he does the absolute worst thing possible. He gets involved with another girl, a childhood friend who's been crushing on him forever. But here's the problem. He doesn't love her. She knows it. He knows it. And yet, they both go along with this illusion because pain is better than loneliness. And our main girl? She's spiraling just as hard. In a desperate attempt to drown out her pain, she starts looking for love in all the wrong places, even entertaining a popular girl who's got her own twisted take on affection. Every interaction is like watching a car crash. You want to look away, but you just can't. Now, let's talk about the real villain here, the music teacher. Oh, you thought she was just a sweet, innocent woman? Nope. This lady is straight up playing games, collecting hearts like infinity stones. She knows the male lead is in love with her, and she thrives off it. And when she finally gets engaged to the teacher our girl is in love with, that's the final nail in the coffin. Our boy is crushed, but instead of learning his lesson, he just keeps self-destructing. He even gets involved with his own teacher at one point. Yeah, it's that bad. Meanwhile, our girl is still chasing after something she'll never have, breaking her own heart over and over again. Eventually, they both realize the truth. This whole thing was never real. They were just using each other as emotional crutches, running from the reality that their love was never reciprocated. And when the moment of truth comes, it's gut-wrenching. They share one final, painful goodbye, knowing they have to let go. But hold up, it gets worse. Just when you think they've learned their lesson, our main guy watches as the music teacher's engagement falls apart. You'd think he'd be happy, but nah. Instead, it's like reopening an old wound, and he spirals again. Meanwhile, our girl meets someone who actually cares for her, but she's too emotionally wrecked to accept it. They both stand on the edge of moving on, but neither of them knows how. And then comes the harshest reality check of all. Love doesn't heal all wounds. They both return to their normal lives, but nothing feels the same. Our girl sees her teacher happy in his new life, and it hits her. No amount of waiting or wishing will change the fact that he was never meant to be hers. She starts to distance herself from everything that reminds her of him, trying to rebuild an identity outside of heartbreak. Meanwhile, our guy, he still clings to the past, but it's eating him alive. He finally confronts the music teacher, hoping for some closure, but all he gets is indifference. She never loved him. She never even considered it. And in that moment, he realizes he's wasted years chasing a fantasy. That pain, it's unbearable. But here's where things get interesting. Instead of completely falling apart, they both start making small changes. Our girl slowly starts focusing on herself, finding joy in little things, understanding that love isn't supposed to be this painful. She stops looking for substitutes and starts embracing her own story. And our guy? Well, it's complicated. He's still haunted by what he lost, but for the first time, he's questioning why he ever thought love should hurt this much. He begins pulling away from meaningless relationships and genuinely trying to find peace, even if it's just one step at a time. In the end, there's no magical resolution, no final reunion, no, they lived happily ever after. Just two broken people trying to move forward, forever marked by the love they could never have. It's messy, it's painful, and it's as real as it gets. This anime isn't about love, it's about obsession, desperation, and the ugly side of human emotions. It's a raw, painful look at what happens when people chase illusions instead of reality. And let's be real, if you made it this far without feeling at least a little emotionally wrecked, you might just be built different. Drop a comment and let me know. Would you rather have unrequited love or a toxic situationship? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more insane anime recaps. Until next time, stay toxic. Just kidding. Please don't.